Hey, this is Robin Vogt from the Brick City Blockade Podcast, and you're listening to Less Than 12 Parsecs, the fastest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. Now here's your host, Tim McMahon.
Roger.
Hey, it's Tim. Thanks for tuning in today. Sorry there wasn't an episode yesterday. I just wanted to bask in the warm glow of my 100th episode. Hey, thank you for all the well wishes I received. And besides, you know what? I never claimed this was going to be a daily show. But speaking of daily shows, I may not have an episode tomorrow because I will be attending a party for Alan Voivod, who is reaching his 1000th episode tomorrow over on Star Wars 7x7, the only daily Star Wars podcast. He'll be live streaming the fun on Facebook, so look for me in the background. Kind of like a Where's Waldo. Anyway, back to business. As I've been promising lately, today I'm going to share with you my top 5 favorite lines of dialogue from my favorite of the prequels, Attack of the Clone. Let's jump into it, shall we?
Number 1.
No, I call it aggressive negotiations.
Of the 3 prequels, Padme really shines the best here in episode 2, in my opinion. She's not being used like a pawn as she was in episode 1, though admittedly a pawn that busts out and takes her own course of action at the end. And she isn't just in the background like I feel like she was in episode 3. In this film, Padme's shown to be a leader, she's shown to be intelligent, she's shown to be kicking butt. This line, a playful callback to something Anakin had said earlier in the film, it's just a great Star Wars line. And I just love the term aggressive negotiations. Aggressive negotiations would make a great title for a Star Wars podcast. Oh wait, that's already been done. Check it out.
Number 2.
Annie? My goodness, you've grown.
So have you. Grown more beautiful, I mean. Well, for a senator, I mean.
I just love to hate on the Anakin and Padme relationship in this film. It's awkward, it doesn't feel real, it's poorly written and directed. Sorry, George. But all that said, I do love to hate it. There's just so much fun stuff to groan at. And this line is the first groan the film gives me. You know what? I'm not sure if the expression on Natalie Portman's face is acting, or if she's just come to realize what she signed up for.
Number 3.
Sounds an awful lot like a dictatorship to me.
Well, if it works.
Okay, this line and the next one I'm going to talk about are really just representative of the scene they are in. And these are 2 scenes that really flesh out the characters and the backstory. Here, we have Anakin showing a bit of the Vader that is yet to come. At first, I didn't like this line. I couldn't figure out where he would come to such a conclusion. People don't come to their own political beliefs in a vacuum, and he's been surrounded by Jedi, tutored by Obi-Wan Kenobi, neither of whom would expound such beliefs. But then, I've come to the conclusion, call it a fan theory if you will, that Palpatine, who's been keeping a close eye on Anakin, must have been feeding him such ideas, but ever so slightly, as to not tip off the boy that he's being turned to the dark side. To me, it shows just how cunning and manipulative the Chancellor has been, and how he's playing the long game. I love it. Has Beltway Banthas ever talked about this scene in depth yet? I need to double check that. I'd like to hear their take.
Number 4.
It's a great pity that our paths have never crossed before, Obi-Wan. Qui-Gon always spoke very highly of you. I wish he were still alive. I could use his help right now.
This too is not necessarily a great line, but I like what is said between the lines in the scene that it is in. Here, Dooku is basically trying to take the first steps to turn Obi-Wan Kenobi. I imagine Dooku picturing himself usurping Sidious with Obi-Wan as his Sith apprentice. But Dooku is no Sidious, and Obi-Wan is way too strong of a Jedi to fall for these tricks. Also, this scene has always felt very original trilogy-ish. Yeah, there's lots of callbacks and references to the OT in the PT, and we do know that things rhyme between the trilogies, as Lucas likes to say, but here, it's not fan service, it just felt truer than all of that, if that makes any sense. It probably doesn't, but it does to me. Anyway.
Number 5.
There is one line I love, but I can't find it anywhere online. You see, here's a secret. I produce this show on just my cell phone and my iPad. Yeah, really. I'm not usually at home when I make these episodes, and I'm not right now, so I just can't pop in the disc and grab the audio clip from the Blu-ray. But even though I can't find the line, I'm going to share it with you anyway. It's when Obi-Wan says to his trusty droid, "R4, Scrabble Code 5 to Coruscant, care of the old folks home." Now normally, I hate the use of real-world anything in Star Wars, but this line has always made me laugh. Wikipedia says the code name Old Folks Home is used by many Jedi field agents when they refer to the Jedi Temple back on Coruscant, but to me, I like to think of it more as Obi-Wan being a bit sarcastic about the Council. Either way, it makes me smirk every time. So there you go, those are my top 5 favorite lines from Attack of the Clones. Ask me again tomorrow and I'll probably give you 5 different lines. Hey, what are your top 5 lines of dialogue from Attack of the Clones? I want to know. Email me at 12parsecs@gmail.com or connect with me on any of my social media accounts. All the links can be found on my website, 12parsecs.podcast.com. Thanks for listening. Utini!
Roger.
You've been listening to Less Than 12 Parsecs, the fastest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy, part of the expanded Fandomverse network of shows. For links and show notes, visit our website, 12parsecsPodcast.com. Follow Less Than 12 Parsecs on Twitter at 12parpod, on Instagram at 12parsecsPodcast, on Tumblr at 12parsecsPodcast, and find us on Facebook as well. And please let us know what you think. Email us at 12parsecsPodcast@gmail.com.